Well, I don't know why you're picking a fight. I know you put your icon out of spite. I'm so mad I nearly fall out my chair, but I ain't leaving this lane now, I swear. Moves to the left of me, beaters to the right, here I am, stuck in the mid lane with you. Yes, I'm stuck in the mid lane with you, and I'm wondering what it is you will do. It's so hard to get ass hits in this lane, losing control and not farming is strange. Moves to the left of me, feeders to the right, here I am, stuck in the mid lane with you. Well, you started off with nothing and you probably bought a Russian, and your friends, they all complaining, snap talk me and saying, trying to make some sense of it all, but I can see it makes no sense at all. Is it cool if I go jungle? I'm core, cause we needed you to last week before. There's noobs to the left of me, feeders to the right, here I am, stuck in the mid lane with you. Definitely a feeder to my right.
Hey everybody, welcome. We are back, officially. This is the Monday casual show, Defense of the Patience. I'm Cyphus and Roland.
I'm wearing casual clothing for how casual this conversation is going to be.
I was gonna get all hyped for, us being back here on the old Monday time slot, doing what we used to do. But then I realized, oh yeah, we did this last week, and people know it's coming, so it's no big surprise.
Yeah, I believe we did. Did we do this last Monday?
Yeah, we did. We did, before we officially
How drab.
everything.
How drab for this Monday show to come back. For all you wondering, this was .p for many years, longer than you have listened, probably.
Yeah.
This is what .p was.
Its original incarnation. Yeah,
I was very good about calling Denny Cyphus and not Denny.
Yep.
I called Denny Cyphus.
Boy, that
Yeah,
didn't get confusing.
Denny. I think you were given a good name from birth, and I don't know why you would want to use a moniker.
We use monikers. Do I have to explain this all over to you?
No, I know why we use moniker. It's
that's
something
what the internet does. And the
why do we
internet
have to
likes
do
that.
what everybody else does all the time, man?
Well, we don't really, man. All right,
Monikers don't even exist, bro. There's people behind those. Okay,
Screen names do. All right,
screen names don't even exist, man. Taking the hippie route on the screen name thing.
I'm actually glad to be back here talking about Dota, because for so long on the one-on-ones and with the infrequency of the Saturday show, I didn't really have that outlet to talk about what was going on when I am playing Dota. And I've been saving this story because we've been here for hours now together, but I've been holding off.
Well, how many songs did we go through that we were going to do?
Oh my god, 15.
And then finally we're just like, fuck it, we're just going to do this 2 takes, bam.
Well, yeah, because you said, you were like, what about Stuck in the Middle with You? And I was like, yeah, I pitched that ages ago. It was as Stuck in the Mid Lane with You.
I don't know why I turned it down. Because then I got on there and I sang it well.
Because there's an element of the intros that requires us being to the point of desperation to just get it done.
Yeah. I'm singing out of my nose, so you know.
Yeah. Intros always took the longest, and
they still do.
They still do, it turns out.
God damn. For
that 2 minutes of
I don't even know if it was
podcasting.
2 minutes. It was 1:36.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
But no, so I've been saving this story.
Okay, go ahead.
So the Steam Summer Sale
has been awesome,
but it ruined Dota. For me, it ruined Dota in the sense that I have spent more hours in the past 10 days playing games other than Dota than I have since we started this podcast.
Me too.
And it kind of kicked off a little before the Steam Summer Sale because I knew it was on its way. I started playing more PUBG with you guys, which has been a blast. I've really been enjoying that.
I love the quote of last weekend or Friday night was, I just don't think we have the coordination to do this.
No, I said I don't think we have the capability to coordinate and win a game.
And I was like, I have a chicken dinner. Harry has a chicken dinner. Audrey has a chicken dinner. Who's the only one without a chicken dinner?
It's when the four-man gets into play and you have that many differing like concepts and personalities.
I got a chicken dinner with a complete noob and Audrey and then Harry.
That's great.
Just saying.
It's great. But it still requires coordination from time to time to actually win.
And well, the problem is Harry's like 6 people, which Harry's a close friend of ours.
Yeah.
Just so you guys know.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, and Harry's stupid good at any game he plays.
You just put him in, it's not fair. He's the type of people that, honestly, we should, eugenics, right? Anybody but his line should be eugenicided.
Okay.
Is that how you say that?
Okay. But close enough.
Let us live our dumb lives in our dumb heads and
sterilize us, but let Harry procreate.
Yeah, and with a lot, let him have
so that we can have awesome gamers.
Not as gamers, dude. Look at his track record in school.
Yeah, no, he's too good at everything that he does, and the really shitty thing is,
and he's too humble, and that's the shittiest part.
You and I spend a lot of time every time we're with him. We're like, come on, man, you got to try Dota. If you just try Dota, you'd be really, really fucking good at it. Like so stupid good at it, it would be ridiculous. And we've tried to get him there and what I realize is it says more about you and me in that we view his natural talent for being good and being awesome at all the things that he does. And
I was about to use an awful analogy. Thank God I thought about it for a second.
He uses his powers to like pursue medical school and become a doctor. You and I would use those powers to be awesome Dota 2 players.
Well, Harry would be the captain, and I'd have him find other awesome Dota 2 players, and then I would just get him fights. You know what I mean? And make money off of it.
If you could take on Harry's innate ability to do the things that he does and make them part of you, you wouldn't use those to do to become an MD. To become a good doctor and give back to society. That's not what you would do with those powers.
I just try and be a better con man. You know what I mean?
Right.
I feel like in his mind, there's a lot of probably good con ideas that I don't have. That with my skill set and his skill set put into one brain.
And think about how good he'd be in pubs because he also speaks Spanish.
I know.
Like he'd be amazing in a pub. He could coordinate everybody.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He could get everybody. Anybody he got paired with. Oh.
Anyway, you could form a team with like 2 South Americans that didn't speak English necessarily.
Yeah,
and,
with Harry,
he'd
still just be as good. He'd be as good. But enough about Harry. We talk enough gushing about Harry. Friday, Saturday, I started playing PUBG. Like last Saturday, not this most recent Saturday, but the one right before that. I had a day where I logged in. I played like 4 solo PUBG rounds. Immediately went over to Elite Dangerous, and because power flickered, I had one of those moments where I was like, all right, I'm not going back to that game. That was too painful to have the power go off right there. And then segued over into some Magic Duels, and I played a ton. I just played a ton of a variety of games on that Saturday, and it kind of kicked off this week of really not playing Dota. And then after we recorded the Patreon episode, which a lot of people are saying is a very weird episode from you and me.
It totally is.
But it was strangely cathartic in some ways.
It was super, super therapeutic. Sorry, you guys. And I had all these people from ESL message me. I'm not a whistleblower, okay? Just so you guys know. If you want to pay the $10,000 to sink a ship, though, I'm still open to $10,000 and I'll sink a ship.
A joke only patron listeners will understand. But so we had that conversation, and I had picked up a ton of stuff on the Steam sale. I'd been playing Doom. I've been playing Wolfenstein: The New Order, which is stupid fun. It's not a skillful game, but it is a great story. Having a blast with all these games. And last night, I knew we were going to be recording today, and I started thinking like, man, I just hit 3K, I had hit 3K and fell down to like 2980.
One game away, yeah.
And I was like, and I thought to myself, well, one, I don't want to go so long without playing that I go through that like readapting to the game spell like I did with the last time I took a big break from Dota. Mm-hmm. So I didn't want to take off that much time that I lost skill because I was away from it for so long. And I also realized, like, I want to lock in my solo international ranked MMR. So I popped on and I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to hop in and I'm just going to play whatever the team needs. And worst case scenario, I lose an international ranked game, and that's all right. I'm 28, like 50 or 2860 on my normal ranked. So I'm not that far from 3K. Like I'd be okay to lose this game is kind of how I went into it.
Yep.
And I'll play whatever I need to. And I think I got 4th or 5th pick near the end, and turned out they needed me. I was going to be playing a core, which I was surprised. Like that doesn't happen all that often in games like that.
Yeah, usually like mid is taken with a question mark token.
Oh, yeah.
Safe lane's taken, then off lane's taken with a question mark, and then I'm like, all right, what jungler can I play?
And I was willing to play a support, and that was not something I was super worried about. If I had to, I would. But I ended up getting the safe lane, and I decided to play Juggernaut for this first game back in a number of days, and it was the most magical Dota game I made. It's the most fun I've had playing Dota ever, hands down. Was in that game.
Wow.
It
kind of hurts my feelings.
Well, I'm sorry. I don't mean it in a mean way, but like I got paired with a 3-stack, and they were all really fucking nice people.
Our ways are spreading, my friend.
I'm gonna give him a shout out. It was Cryhog, Arakitten, and I want to say this guy's name was like Night Sky or Sky Knight, I think was what it was. And then another guy who was a rando solo, Deadweight. And this was a normal. Oh, actually, this was a normal game. Excuse me. This was not my international rank game. That was later today. So I get paired with this 3-stack. We start playing, and it's a hard fought game. It goes an hour and 12 minutes. Like that fucking long against a lineup of Bristleback, PA, Kunkka, Storm Spirit, and Ogre. And the entire time I was playing it, I was adapting constantly. Like I had queued up the MKB to deal with the PA, but the PA wasn't the problem. The Storm Spirit was. So I was like, all right, I've already got a way to pop the Storm Spirit's Lincolns because I'd already built my diffusal. It's like, fuck the MKB. I'll go Abyssal. I'll go Abyssal so I have some lockdown for that storm because we didn't have a ton of it. Though our Pudge was amazingly good at catching that storm. Grabbed a blink. He would blink on top of that storm at the moment he saw the Lincolns get popped, go for the dismember, and then I'd come in with an Omni. Man, it was beautiful.
Creme de la creme?
Yeah, it was amazing. And they were trying to coordinate. We had a really soft lineup. It was Pudge, and he went Pudge mid versus the Storm, and he had it was hard, obviously. Storm, I think, owns Pudge a little bit mid. I don't know. What are your thoughts there? I don't get.
I don't think Pudge is a mid.
I agree.
I don't know. That's my thought. I think
that's where he got popular, or where he gets popularized in pubs. But I agree with you. I don't think he's mid caliber. I think he's perfect as the roaming.
I understand that like it's way great to get a longer hook. We all want longer hooks.
Yeah.
But you don't have to take a whole lane to get your hook longer quicker. Just take, just let yourself
get kills, do the right thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this was a normal game. I wasn't upset. I didn't flame anybody for, the choices they made by any means. And he picked Pudge mid near to the end, and then the Storm got picked up like right after that. Then he had a buddy who played both of these guys, both the Mirana and the Lich, wanted initially to play an offlaner. Our 5th guy had locked in an early Sand King. And they both offered to play the support or play the roaming 4. So we ended up having Lich, Mirana, Pudge, Sand King, and me on the jug.
Doesn't seem like you have much to take it to 112 minutes.
Right. That was our thinking too. So
But you have so much lockdown.
We had some decent lockdown.
And you have Mirana will eventually deal a lot of damage.
Right. And so I told that Mirana early on, I was like, hey, Mirana, I know you're roaming 4, but you're going to need to build a core because we got to go late game.
So much lockdown.
Switch over now.
And I guess if they can keep everybody locked down, it doesn't matter. I mean, you can get the damage out.
Eventually, he got the Bloodthorn on the Mirana. The game went late enough. So we had ways. But
then Mirana's doing like core damage.
Everybody was just so good about knowing, like, okay, we knew that this game was going to be hard to win. We knew it was going to be hard to win late.
Yeah,
we were ahead, but we were losing material too quickly. But we had the tools to deal with what we needed to deal with. We had we could come together and build the right items, and it felt like everybody in the game was building the right way. And it came down to, we lost all of our tier 3s. We lost both of our outer racks, but we still had the mid racks intact by the end of the game. And then pushed, got megas, had to come back because we'd forced buybacks getting the megas before we went for we were trying to force buybacks initially. So we get the buybacks, we come back, the game still goes like another 10, 12 minutes of us like trying to hold on to the mid racks, them getting just about every Roche because we didn't really have a great team to like push up and contest the Roche.
I would say you do have a good team. I would just, because, Epicenter and Starfall and like you guys have a lot of blink initiation,
They took Roches so fast.
Yeah, like you have to be in position, like your lanes have to be pushed out, which is something that I guess Mirana has good wave clear. Sand King has pretty good wave clear if he is using Caustic right. Mm-hmm. Jug, if you went Battle Fury, which I'm guessing you didn't.
I did not.
Well, did you get Mjolnir? Maelstrom?
No, I didn't.
So you had shit wave. Well, you're still wave clear pretty quick, just not like insane.
No, not as well. Yeah, definitely not as well.
Pudge, I mean, unless he has a heart, he can't rot forever. You know what I mean? So.
Well, my itemization was definitely...
What a line. Imagine if I said that to just somebody on the street that, Pudge can't rot forever unless he has a heart. I would be in a mental hospital. You know what I mean? Yeah. I love catching those lines.
But it was one of those games, though, where I felt like we were making the right item choices more than anything. Nobody was flaming. Even whenever it was tough and we were losing material, nobody was on anybody's back. I tried to, I was very conscious about things like when I saw that the Pudge was doing great at locking down the Storm Spirit, I made sure to let him know over the mic. Like, man, Pudge, you've been on point with locking down that Storm Spirit all game. And his response to me was, "Oh, I've missed more than I've got." And I was like, "Not that I've seen." And the Lich was hardcore on the dewarding. He and the Mirana were hardcore on dewarding the enemy. They were all over placing down sentries, making sure they were getting that vision down, and we were winning the vision game. And it was a hard-fought battle, and I made sure to let them know, hey, wow, that's great. I really appreciate, you guys are doing an awesome job keeping their vision down.
So Friendly Denny came out instead of General Denny?
No, that's part of General Denny, actually, is you commend the troops for good jobs.
Right? Oh, okay.
And
throw a promotion here and there.
And then Deadweight, the Sand King, he was like, "What MMR are you guys? Because I feel like I queued way out of my class. And I don't know what his Open Dota estimates him at 3127. So I mean, he's not,
People have really good games just as often as they have really bad games.
Yeah.
Most of the time you're just sitting at par, right? But sometimes you have those games where you're like, I'm like 7K. Why have I not been picked up on a team? And then sometimes you're like, I have played 5,000 games of Dota. That's really, really sad. You know what I mean?
But this guy was having a crisis moment where he didn't feel like he was doing as well, but he was fine. He was blinking in. He was getting his epicenters. He was doing what we needed him to do. But it was one of those games where I made the decision to get away from the MKB and instead, because when I started that game, I was like, I'm going to go MKB to deal with this PA. And then I saw the storm getting out of hand, and I was like, well, fuck it. I guess I am going to go Abyssal because we have enough magic damage to deal with the PA. We were making the right decision.
Abyssa Manta Diffusal will do a lot to a storm.
Yeah. Oh, and it did. I mean, I was able to. I got my my Manta Purge quest that game.
Oh, nice.
From all the silences from his fucking Orchid. I got Orchid. I'd Manta. Get right back.
So you mean purging? Yeah,
purging effects on you with Manta.
Yep.
But it was just, I can't stress how much fun it was. It was the game I wish, in my mind afterwards, I was like, I should send this to Ursi and be and have him do a replay analysis for me, because I would love to know what I was doing wrong, what I could have done better, and still at the same time feel like I was doing pretty incredibly well. And I went 25-2 on Joe that game.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was
and so you're back to 3K.
No, so then this morning I played a game. This morning I got my stories mixed up a little bit there. That was actually a normal game. This morning before I came over here.
Not nearly as cool. Why were you playing a normal game?
Because I wanted to get back into it and feel, and get the hang of it, because I've been out of practice. I wanted to make sure I was,
That's why you got Safe Lane. It's because, you're playing a game with no money on the line, dude. People let you do whatever you want.
Well, I mean, it worked.
I can't even believe that's a mode.
It was just a
normal
great game.
Why would people play that mode?
But no, this morning I played, to get back to 3005 MMR, a 22-minute game where I was on Abaddon in the off lane.
Yeah, Abaddon is so hard to get. It's so bullshit. You're like, it's that scene. Remember that scene in The Dark Knight when it's the very start opening sequence when they're all in the masks, right? And they're robbing the bank. And the guy with the shotgun is shooting at them as they're hiding behind the teller desks or whatever. And the one guy says to the Joker, he's like, he's out, right? And he stands up and he gets shot. And he's like, where'd you learn how to count? That scene where he's like, he's out, right? That's kind of how I feel with Abaddon and his ult is like,
it can't possibly come back, right?
It's on cooldown, right? And then you go to attack and it's like, nope. Yeah. And it's just like, that's bullshit. Borrow someone else's time, not mine.
I definitely had ample moments like that, but it was it was a brutal slaughter, that game. It was over in 22 minutes. We never lost.
I mean, if it's over in 22 minutes, that means you're raxing at like 15 to 17. If the game is overdone, 22-minute long game.
Playing really smart. Actually, nobody forced high ground super early. Like, we got all the outer towers, got back together, grouped up for that final push, and then when we pushed,
would you say grouping is the way to win in Dota 2 when you're all grouped? When you're taking 5 heroes together
with some lineups? Yes.
Okay, because I've been wondering because no one seems to want to do it.
You don't want to do it. You don't want to do it. I don't ever want to hear you complain about people not grouping. I have seen you play way too many games on stream. I know what your strategy is. Your strategy is, well, if they're all grouped down there, they'll do all right. And especially, maybe I got lucky and all my teammates are way better than all their teammates, so they'll actually win the 4v5 fight, while I can take the glory up here, getting half damage on a fucking tier 3 all by myself before they come over to kill me after they finish the rest of my team off.
Yeah, no, I've made a lot of realizations. I mean, that I just...
No, sometimes that works. With your Meepo strategy, that works way more often than it should.
Beautifully, I know. And I've thought about, I just need to reinvigorate. Somebody mentioned, like, I think Roland hates Dota. No, Dota and I have, like, a relationship where right now we're broken up and we're just having sex every once in a while. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, how it happens,
You're friends with benefits?
Well, we're not friends. We argue with each other all the time, but every once in a while when I'm feeling lonely, I'm like, hey, Dota, come over. And then we bang, you know what I mean? And then, the next day I'm like, what have I done? I made a mistake. Like, it was so great without Dota. Like, Dota, will you please go home? And then Dota's like, fuck you. And I get low prio, you know what I mean? And then I have to come back and be like, hey, Dota, what you doing tonight? And Dota's like, not hanging out with you. And I'm like, come on, baby, come back over. Like, we had such a good thing going for so many years. That is literally the analogy I'll use with Dota.
Yeah.
And, I feel like I want to apologize to Dota and say, hey, look, like, you're not my Guma. You know what I mean? You are my mainstay. And I'm sorry for fucking around, with other games. You're my one and only. You know what I mean?
No, we need to play together. I hopped on. I had intended to play with you last night actually, but you were in a game as Ogre, I want to say.
Yeah, Ogre Jungle.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
It worked out not well. We were so ahead and then we lost.
Okay.
I just wanted to jungle a 4-staff, and then after that I was like, but I could jungle an Ags. And so I did. And then I ended up with a lot of items if you look at that game.
Yeah, let's see. You ended the game with...
But that doesn't win you games.
An Octarine Core, an Aghanim Scepter, a 4-staff, an Aether Lens, regular old brown boots.
Because I turned my regular old brown boots that were arcanes, or I turned my arcanes into regular old brown boots when I got the Octarine. Because everyone was like, we need tank. And I know we had a tank. We had, who was it? That was tanky. That was on our team.
Let's see.
There was another hero that could tank.
Axe?
Yeah. He was, Axe should have been our tank, but Axe was the type of Axe that's like, I got a blink dagger, and I'm going to use it anytime I see people, and I'm going to call them. I don't care where my team is, because if I turn Blade Mail on and call them, I'm going to kill 4 people. It's like, no, Axe, that's not how it happens.
No.
I definitely made my fair share of mistakes. There were like 15 moments in that game where it was like, oh, nice, we won. And then it was like, we do some stupid thing, and we all die. And then it's like, ooh. And then we get it back, and we won. And then nope. And then I look at the very end, and they had 3 heroes that were farmed at nearly 30,000. And I think our top farmed hero was our sniper. That was like 20,000.
Yeah, you guys had the gold lead and XP. Well, you had the gold lead until, the XP lead until about 15 minutes.
I felt like we were winning at certain points. Like we would take a really
you had the
integral
gold
fight.
lead until about 24 minutes, and then after that, it was.
It felt like we were staging.
Oh wow! And you took the gold lead back at 37 minutes.
Yeah, like there, it was a back and forth, and then what happened was we all died, and we didn't have buyback. And we even lived then. It's just, yeah.
That was the other thing about that beautiful game last night. Was everybody was like, make sure we're saving for buyback. Make sure we're saving for buyback. Like everybody was on point. Like it was not at all. It was so funny because I've been watching. I've popped into Dota to like watch matches and whatnot, and I've popped into Dota to see if like you were actually playing a game or whatever, and like gone in to watch a couple of your games. I did when Harry was here earlier this weekend. And you were sitting AFK as sniper.
I had a work call. So if you'll see, I've played. I think my last 3 games. I played 3 games. One of which I played to completion. One was sniper and I had to abandon. Then one was pudge and I abandoned. And I got -75, which I don't understand how you can get -75. I doubled down, but 75 is an odd number.
Yeah,
and any number times by like. Even if I lost 30...
Maybe it gave you -25 for the abandon, and then gave you -50 for the loss.
Maybe. I did, wager or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm to the point where I'm not even using my 3 tokens a week. I'm spending a lot of time playing other games. And yeah, trying to, find my love for Dota again. I don't know. I don't hate the game. Don't get me wrong. It's just my biggest issue is you found a game. Click accept. Bam, you're in the game. And now I'm like frozen looking at all those heroes and just like, oh my God, I have no idea what I even want to play. I have no idea. And so like, I was like, okay, Ogre seems good here. I'm going to start Talon Tangos because we had another support. We had a Lich that bought everything else. I don't know. That's my biggest issue. Like, I wish I just had like a big, like 6'7" dude that would just like, I mean, it doesn't matter. 6'7" woman, 6'7" dude, just somebody really way stronger than me to overpower me.
Don't
would
click that random button.
No, I'm not randoming.
No,
that would just be like, you get to play 6 heroes. Tell me what 6 heroes you want to play before you start search. And he'd be like, and then he would like hop on a computer and do stats.
That 6'7" dude could be you.
I know. Like, what, you're gonna like give me that like empowering talk that like you could do that. No, I literally think it's out of my control. I think I need like outside help.
Like an outside intervention?
I need to hire somebody, and not even like an online coach. Like I need somebody that like lives with me and like tells me when to wake up and is like, all right, we're gonna go for a mile jog. And I'm like, nah, dude, I don't want to. And he's like, no, it's gonna make your Dota better. And I'll be like, oh, and I'll like
and picks you up out of bed and like throws water on your face.
Like makes me eat frosted flakes or like non-sugared frosted flakes or something.
Wheaties?
You know, Wheaties or something. Yeah, like makes me live like, you know, healthier and better life. And like when I sit down to play Dota, his arms are folded looking down at me the whole time. And if I look back and I died in a bad way, he just shakes his head. Like, what were you doing there? What were you doing there?
Why'd you get Iron Talon? Iron Talon on Ogre?
And
you know what you're supposed to be doing?
And, like if I bought the Iron Talon, he would like slide my swivel chair away and sell it and be like, nope, buy something that you actually need. And I'd be like, but
yeah, because that was actually what I was gonna say is like you jungled the Ogre, but you didn't have to jungle the Ogre.
I could have roamed. I could have bought a Windlace. I could have bought boots and like a couple clarity and started with Fire Blast and gone around and probably secured a bunch of kills. And if we were already in a gold lead up to 25 minutes, imagine if there was a guy that wasn't sitting in the jungle but was instead roaming around the map stunning people. Yeah. I don't know. I really do need somebody to intervene. And and you know who that person was for the longest time was Andrew. Andrew wouldn't let me do stupid shit like that. Wazoo.
No, you would do stupid shit in spite of that. Actually, I think that your best run of not doing stupid shit was when you actually wanted to climb and prove a point.
I think it was because I was about to have a baby and I thought Dota was going to go away completely and I wanted it to stay at like this high number and be like, look, you know, I've fucked around for the last few years and I'm actually a
I can actually
3.5.
be good at this game.
I'm actually,
Yeah.
above average, at least average.
But you wanted to prove, regardless, you wanted to prove a point. You wanted to make
To
something
myself,
happen. Yeah,
most of all. 4K.
and to others. I mean, there was.
I feel like a big letdown though because I never got 4K, 3850, and I just let myself drop to 2500.
But you could go back there.
It would
You
take
could go
it would
back
take
there.
so long.
Not that long.
Yeah, what 12 fucking yeah, it would. 4 per 100 and I need 13 of those. What's 4 times 52 wins in a row. Okay, let's do 52 wins in a row.
I mean, that could happen over the course of
A year.
All you need is 50. That means you need 52 more wins than you have losses.
Yep.
Right?
And if you look at my last 20 games, they probably span over the course of 2.5, 3 weeks. My last 20 games. So if I'm only playing 20 games a month, then that means that it would take a long time.
Your last 20 games are over 9 days. You got...
Are you sure some of those aren't Silt Breaker and some of those aren't?
Yeah, because these are like all draft ranked, single draft normal. These are your like low prios that you're playing.
I'm getting a shit ton of
1,
low
2,
priorities.
3, 4, 5. Yeah, so these are all from within the last 9 days.
But it's not bad attitude. It's abandoning. I'm abandoning a lot because when I get a phone call, I've got to answer it and I've got to give my entire attention to that phone call. I've recently taken on a position in Las Vegas. We'll put it there.
It requires you to fly out to Vegas
every other week
for a few days.
For like 3 to 4 days. Which it's fun and it's an opportunity that you would have to be an idiot not to pass up on. Literally, you would just have to be almost as dumb as me. Luckily, like you'd have to just be, I almost passed it up. You're just slightly dumber than me to pass it up, but I didn't, luckily, and it just means that I don't know.
But I
can get that monster truck. That
my
I
point
wanted
being,
or
like
whatever.
you could get back there. You could go that direction. Like
thing
I
is-
feel like this is a conversation we keep having. But
But
mean,
I have
that
to
is-
want to. It's like
Yeah.
it's like recovery, man. Like if you want to get off drugs, you got to stop using drugs, and you have to want to stop using drugs.
Yeah.
Or unless you go to jail or something, which in Vegas is kind of like jail, where I have a sweet computer while I'm down there to use, which is awesome. But I find myself playing like Ark or
Oh, really?
yeah, I've been playing
Wow.
some Ark. Or Portal Knights, that's been pretty fun. Orcs Must Die, that's been really fun. Magic Duels has been really fun. I just
XCOM.
XCOM 2, yeah, I've got that. I'd never played XCOM before, and for years, since before XCOM 2 came out, Wazoo was like, you would love XCOM. And turns out I do love XCOM. But even XCOM, I'm finding that, I don't know, like you have a baby, and I know I'm not, people just gave me shit for bringing my personal life into things, but I care about how my yard looks. And like, how long have I spent on pouring that,
Yeah, I mean the better part of a week, more than a week.
11 feet by 33 feet by 4 inches deep of cement that I poured myself, screeded myself, floated myself, and edged myself, and framed myself, and rented a tractor to dig all the dirt out myself, and rented a compactor to compact the ground by myself.
Yeah.
Bought the rebar, bent the rebar in there, because I just bought a thin sheet of rebar that was bendable to put in there. Bought 6 bags cement so you can drive on it, which was way more expensive than 5 bag, which I don't even know what that means, but I was like, give me the better one. Because if I'm going to pour this fucking cement and labor
be able to drive
all
on
day.
it.
But yeah, like Saturday, working the entire day on my own yard, on my own house. Like I want to.
I know you have the ability.
I'm going to build a cabana.
But it's not about games. It's not about the time to play games.
I just want, like, I'm finding that I don't want to sit in front of a computer all day.
Well, that's okay.
I don't before, my routine, like looking at how my routine was, even when Charlie was born, which I guess it was winter and there's not a bunch to do outside. But I mean, wake up 9 or so, 8:30 a.m., spend time with my son and be like, all right, Audrey, off to playing 7 games to 8 games of Dota, go hang out with them, eat dinner with them or whatever, and then play until like 1 in the morning. and do it all over again. And I can't, dude. I don't have the 6'7" nondescript, not gender binary, whatever person standing beside me to slap my hand away when I make stupid decisions or to say no. And now I'm going to get 100 offers of people that are like, I'll totally make sure that you can't do stupid shit. And no, you can't. I promise. I will actually do more stupid shit because then there's an authority figure.
Yeah, and you like to buck authority.
Yeah. Since I was young.
Yeah.
And what do they say about dads and bucking authority? Psychology things. You told me that like
psychology things.
You like if your dad is a certain way that you don't want to.
No, kids are always rebellious. I mean that's
no, but there's
that's
something specific with your dad that you emulate how your dad treats authority is how you treat it.
Yeah. So dads,
what is that?
Dads are frequently, and this is super psychoanalytical. So this is not necessarily research backed, but
this is
one of the old like psychoanalytical hypotheses about fathers where they model our interactions with authority figures, meaning how you interact with your mom is more how it would frame more like how your interactions with close relationships are. How you interact with your father would be more how you would later on model how you deal with your boss, how you deal with a cop, how you know what I mean.
Okay, so take that and go ahead and diagnose me.
No, sure. I mean, yeah,
what would that say about my dad? That he bucked authority?
No, I don't think it says. It doesn't. I mean, we're going down some weird.
I want to go down this weird territory. I like this. This is
a
interesting.
lot of things would go into that. Like it would not just be your father, but also how you interacted with your father. And so, I'm assuming you always shirked whatever your father told you. I mean, you moved out when you were young too. So
very, very young. Yeah,
you completely like tried to shake free of authority. Like that's always been been your thing.
And all their control over me, which was like any material possession they had over me, and I made sure to get into
one of the most interesting things that was ever told or was ever said to me about behavior is that behavior models the laws of physics in a very in a very simple, like in a very similar type way. So for every reaction, there's an equal and opposite every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction.
Sure.
So if your father was
throw
super
some Newton laws, huh?
authoritarian, your reaction might have been to be super rebellious. You know what I mean? Like,
well, my reaction is I'm not that way at all.
But we're getting psychoanalytical here, and none of us is backed by.
Well, all I'm saying is that, like, for instance, okay, story time. Sorry if there are any police officers out there. I don't know how this works, but like, if I go into a 7-Eleven to get a drink and I see that there's like 4 police officers in the back eating free donuts and shit, I'm not scared to go up and ask them if they're on break, and they don't like that. Turns out, but I will say, excuse me, guys, are you guys on break? And, usually I'll get like a snark response.
But it's because I see that more as your desire for conflict.
I guess.
You have a desire for conflict. You like conflict.
But like, I pay for them to protect me, not to hang out at 7-Eleven.
But you take a break on your job. Every government employee that you see,
get out there and
you just see them more than you see others. Right, but they're also, like, part of being a cop is also being present at that 7-Eleven, because if I'm there and people walk in and see or know that I'm going to be frequent that
No,
area,
I can't rob here. Maybe I'll rob the gas station down the street because all the cops are here.
Right. But
I'm a very law-abiding citizen. Like, as law-abiding as it gets. Like,
but they actually act as a deterrent. I mean, that's why you see, like, empty cop cars. Like, when they decommission old cop cars, frequently what they'll do is go park at the mall.
I know, yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Because if you can park a decommissioned cop car at the mall, that just the presence of a cop car reduces the probability of a crime drastically within a mile radius. You also seek conflict with authority more than anything.
Well, because I guess I have that complex that it's like, I don't feel that and I guess this gets really hippie. This is as hippie as I get. Is that I don't feel like nobody should be able to control life. Like, honestly. Like, okay. I that is my hippie thought. And I know we're going down a weird, like, this honestly should be a tangent. But, like, even my dog, like, I'm going to do things to make sure he doesn't die. Like, run in the road. And I will get really mad if he runs in the road.
Right.
But as far as the other shit, like, I don't own him. You know what I mean? I feed him. I take care of him. He's like a child of mine. But I don't own life. I don't feel like anybody can own life, which may be my issue with authority, is like, You feel like you're better than me, and I hate that. Which is why I'm starting my own business and why I work for myself and why I do everything that I do,
Right.
and pretty much why I am who I am and everything.
But it also
else.
creates unnecessary tension.
No one
with
is going to tell
frequency.
me what to do.
Right.
You know
But
what I mean?
But that's not always a good thing.
No, it's not. But
and
it's actually
it can
more often a bad
yeah,
thing.
it can frequently be a bad thing.
But I mean, the only time I am going to allow somebody to tell me what to do is if I have enough respect for them that I value what they have to say enough to listen to what they, like, I don't have anything to worry about if a cop pulls me over. So if he's trying to tell me shit what to do, fuck off. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a law-abiding citizen. Your job is paid for by my taxes. You can go fuck yourself, okay? I may speed a little bit. That's the worst thing, but I don't own a Mustang like you.
Yeah.
Here comes the I guess therapy session. Thank God I've got an armchair psychologist over here. I think that's my issue with authority is that what makes you a position of authority? And some people like you, like for instance, there are a lot of things that I will be like, yes, please tell me how to do this or whatever, because I respect you enough to say, I think you know more about this than I do.
But I think what creates a lot of conflict for you with other authority figures is your default assumption is that they don't have
aren't
more
knowledge.
deserving of that level of respect. Yeah. Like and that
how come I'm just supposed to respect somebody more than they respect me right off the bat?
It depends on the subject. Like, it depends on what you're talking about, right?
Like, okay, I go into a physics course or I go into a math course or I go into any course. I respect that professor immediately because I know they put in the work. I know they know more than me about this subject and they will get treated that way.
Right.
But just some random dude on the internet or some random dude I run into.
No, that's not what I'm telling you.
That's
about.
the type of authority.
On the internet, sure. Random dudes on the internet.
Or like people at Home Depot that that are like, you shouldn't get that type of rebar. Yeah. And it's like,
I don't trust people at hardware stores.
And I'm like,
either.
They're like, you should get this type of rebar that's way more encumbersome and is going to be way more of a bitch for you to do this job. Yep. And even if they're right, I just want to be like, didn't ask. You know what I mean? But I don't, because I'm also nice to people.
Uh-huh.
For the most part.
Sometimes.
For the most part. Sometimes I can be a huge asshole.
Yeah.
But that's what makes me me. You know what I mean?
Oh my God. The worst thing you can ever describe that's the worst. That's like the worst line of description for yourself ever. That's just what makes me me. Or when somebody asks you like, "Do you like Josh?" I'll be like, "Well, Josh is Josh." That's never a good sign.
That's never a good sign.
That's never a good sign.
You know, acquired taste with Josh.
I mean, Josh is just Josh.
Yeah,
you just gotta
do. You know how Josh is.
Yeah,
you know how Josh is. But I'm
I've always strived to avoid that description of myself.
I don't
from others,
but I just don't care. You know what I mean? Like,
no,
if there's a person,
very obvious.
Thank you. But like, for instance, the poetry reading that we had over here for a barbecue recently, I gave a certain individual a chance. You know what I mean? That was like, hey, come over to this barbecue. There will be alcohol. You know, we're all adults. Hopefully we can handle our alcohol. And let's have a fun time at a barbecue. And a drunk dude reading you poetry is fucking obnoxious.
Yeah.
Did I return this person's phone calls? Do I have any respect for this person? Do I feel like this person knows more about me than on certain subjects? Yes. But do I have respect for them? No. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They may think they're an authority figure over me on certain subjects.
Sure.
And because of my lack of respect based on one night of them getting way too drunk at a family barbecue,
well, then
I buck the authority.
Wrong. Like as far as I guess establishing yourself as an authority, and hopefully we can bring this back around to Dota at some point.
Well, it all goes back to Dota, and it's everybody in a pub, everybody that I played with, all the people that are 4K. That it's like, okay, well, whatever. Like,
but for me, authority means ethos, right?
Yeah.
I think ethos
emotion, right?
Ethos is.
Pathos is emotion.
Yeah, ethos is authority.
Like, ethics, like, yeah.
Well, like,
but to bring it down more.
Yeah. Is what gives you your authority. What gives you your ethos, your weight.
What gives
your
you
heft.
Yeah,
in your reputation.
Yeah.
For me, ethos more often than not is credentials. Like, I would like to see credentials, and not that credentials make the man or make the woman or whoever. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I've been to plenty of veterinarians, for instance, who I felt like Jesus Christ, I know that you've got a degree, but I don't even feel like we're talking the same language or that you're giving me anything logical. And I've you have to sift through even the credentialed individuals. But for more often than not, credentials to me means it can help establish ethos. That's why I like you respect academics who are become professors.
They work to get there,
right? They put in time. That is where their ethos stems from, is their education. With people who do research in a particular field, I'm fascinated by what they do because they have a lot of ethos in that particular field.
Or my neighbors that just moved into the East that are builders. They build houses. That's what they do. I respected his opinion when he came over and he's like, usually when you're doing this is how you do it. And I'm like, ding, dude's old. Ding, dude's built a bunch of houses. Ding, know for sure. Ding, respect is given to his credentials.
Or they've done it a lot in their field.
Yeah.
That's the other thing.
That's credentials, doing it a lot, right?
Yeah, sure. And
credentials is doing it a lot.
I mean, maybe a little less so. Credentials more represents like having paperwork or a degree or a certification or something like that, right? But ethos can also, yes, be reputation or experience, right? And so that guy has a ton of experience in building.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you listen to him about something regarding construction?
For sure.
When it comes to Dota, when it comes to ethos and Dota, one of the few things that we have is MMR. That's really
one of the only thing, unless you get into the pros, unless you're in pros, and then you have like how many LANs, how many finals, how many wins. And then MMR doesn't even fucking matter. MMR goes away, and then your ethos.
Then it's about,
and then the credentials really do matter because they speak volumes. But more often
than not, it's about winning, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's still their ability to win, even with tournaments. You know what I mean?
No, and I'm with you that, like, and I guess I'm semi-confused about how we even got to this path.
Well, me bucking authority in Dota, like, even if somebody offered to help me, I said it wouldn't work unless it was somebody, like, I really respected. But even then, I'm going to buck things when...
Oh, yeah, I do know where I was going with this. So, but the problem I feel like that you experience in Dota is that you don't even ascribe that level of ethos to people who have any amount of credential, right? Like, you see people that are 4 and 5K who, at the very least, do win more. Whether they win more because of natural talent and they make shit decisions, or they win more because they make great decisions.
I get respect and I guess ethos, I guess credentials. I get respect and credentials mixed in the same cauldron, I guess. If like respect needs, like if I respect you, your credentials mean a lot more than if like, it's like me having trouble separating the artist from the art that we were talking about. Like, I can't do that very well. Like, if I find out this artist is a huge douchebag, even though it was my favorite song yesterday, it is now my least favorite song today. You know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
And so, for instance, like, the people that I loved listening to were the people that I respected that had, like, a good mindset about it, which were, like, the Joy Thieves. Like, if I wanted to pick up Darkseer and like seriously wanted to make a run on Darkseer, Centaur War Runner, something like that, I wouldn't hit up Ursi or Proud. I would be like, Joy Thief, I want to play Darkseer and Centaur. Tell me what you do, dude, because I've seen your and who cares? I don't care what your MMR is. You've established that respect. Like, I respect Joy Thief
through reputation with you, though.
Well, no, just Joy Thief and I have had enough conversations where we treat each other like equals. Like,
there are, and I agree with you. Like, I'd probably hit up Joy Thief for advice on those heroes as well. Like, I mean, I know Joy Thief is,
and maybe he's not 4K. I don't know how. I think he's sat at like 2.5 for a long time. He may be way better than that now. I don't know. And I know he plays a lot of party, like, because he's just like this is what I do when I get off work. I have fun and I play some Dota, and it's like cool, awesome. And he plays it in the living room, and you can hear his kids rolling around everywhere, and like he, whatever, like. Better than, drinking in a garage alone, you know what I mean, or something like that. Like, cool for you. At least you're interacting, type thing. Yeah. So anyway, I don't know. Like, I opposed to just like some rando that's like, I'm 6.5K, and it's like, well, like, what do you work a job, or do you like, what do you do in real?
That doesn't matter.
What do you do in real life?
But that doesn't matter.
That's where the respect. That's where the respect and the credentials get mixed in with me.
Yeah.
Is like, I want to be able to respect what you do in real life. Like, Joy Thief and I once, like, a while ago, had this, like, 7-hour long talk where, I probably was just going in circles, and he's probably like, God, I need to get to bed. But we just, like, we had this, like, really cool, like, hey, this is me, and this is, nice to meet you type thing. And like,
How-
I respected what he did. I respected him as a human being.
I don't want you to take this the wrong way.
Okay.
But how very Trumpian of you. Because that's one of the big critiques of Trump is like his opinion is frequently changed by whoever he's had like the longest or most recent conversation with.
Well,
on like a personal level. I'm not.
I am
I'm
often
not.
compared to Trump, and
No,
I
I'm
would
not
probably be as misfit of a president as Trump is. I will say that much. I don't want to like hurt people, though. That's the only difference, or marginalize people.
Yeah.
I guess that would be my only difference. I would just be wildly inept.
Hey, he's
That
got
would-
the space program back. That's all I care about.
which is cool.
Yeah, which is cool. Maybe you're taking too much when it comes to Dota and Dota advice. Like maybe you're looking too much at people's like personal interactions. Because there are pros. For instance, like let's talk about Arteezy, right? Like Arteezy is probably one of the people you could go watch and learn from. Maybe not learn directly from, I don't know, but
It's just like so advanced it'd be hard to learn from. But like,
I mean, let's say you were of that caliber, where you wanted to learn and you wanted to learn from one of the best. You could go monitor Arteezy's games, his gameplay, his past performance, his decision making, his stats. You could glean a lot from Arteezy. Now, there are definitely a lot of things out there though about Arteezy that might speak negatively to his character.
yeah, I mean, maybe and maybe he's not the type of person that I'd want to get a beer with, but neither have been physics professors or math professors. And I would put Arteezy on the same level that I would put like a physics professor. That like,
Right.
Look, dude, you've put in the time, you've proven it. And maybe not Arteezy. Maybe I would use like Fly as a better example. Like, although I think I would get better.
Well, no. I think Arteezy is the better example
because he's just like,
because there are there are threads of him like. There are threads complaining that he's done like sexist things in the past.
Whatever.
You know what I mean?
Okay, so we'll use Arteezy. Yeah, I would look at him as though it would be my first day walking into a class that I know nothing about. Or that like
No. See, and I'm more trying to say I
I would establish him as he has the ethos, and I would give him the respect because
despite the fact that you might know, for instance, that like he said something incredibly sexist or racist on stream. I'm not like let's not even say that he did. Let's say there's this world where
Arteezy's like a
frequently
douchebag.
goes off on racist tirades on his stream. He frequently does that, but he is one of the best Dota players to ever live.
Well, if my main goal were to study and get better at Dota, I wouldn't respect his. I mean, I can make the delineation in that specific case between the game and the
But
life.
is pro level
pro
where
life.
it has to be for you in order to do that? You think?
I mean, it has. You have to. I have to. Yeah,
Because you get like where I'm going with this. Because
I do get where you're going with this.
Having an issue with people.
I think that somebody that has competed on a stage with all that pressure, and although Arteezy, I don't know how many big LAN wins he's had, but he's been second place a lot of the time, and he's felt the pressure and all that. Yeah, I would totally take advice from Arteezy and be able to separate him. Like my math professor, my Calculus 1 math professor was a complete asshole. Didn't like him. He called me the rich kid, which really pissed me off. He referred to me as the rich kid because I dressed nicely and I drove a nice car. Whatever, fuck you. Maybe I am the rich. It doesn't fucking matter. But he'd call me the rich kid and be like, the rich kid has no issue buying the book, but for all you that do, and shit like that. Like he was a complete asshole. But when he'd get on the whiteboard and start going with his crazy shit that he was doing, magic at that time, I was completely able to separate the fact that he's calling me out in front of people like an immature child because he is extremely knowledgeable when it comes to mathematics. He has a doctorate in matrices or some shit, some like super specific, like Calculus 1 to him is like he could do it without a piece of paper while he was taking a shit. You know what I mean? Like, and me, I'm sitting there like feverishly writing, trying to understand what he's putting on the board. And when I got home, yes, I was able to separate the fact that if I saw him at the grocery store, I wouldn't say hi and I would think he's a huge prick because I'm not in a classroom setting with him.
Yeah.
I would probably even, remark to whoever I was with, that guy's a douche.
Why do you think you have a trouble doing that with, say, like just a 4K player
Because
or a 5K player?
I've been really close to 4K.
Okay.
And I know what it's like. It's like me going into a solution center, for instance. Okay. a kid that passed
math
Calc.
lab.
Yeah,
For
math
those
lab.
Maybe, yeah.
And I'm in Calc 2, and this kid just barely passed Calc 2. And I throw up a problem, and he's able to get further than me, or whatever, or teach me a couple of things. But do I have the same respect when he gets on the board and is trying to teach me things that I do for a doctorate level? Absolutely not. You know what I mean? I guess that's the delineation. He's definitely 4K in math to my 2.5K. You know what I mean? He's definitely more advanced than me. But do I have the same respect for him? And especially if he was strutting around like, I am so like, this is easy stuff. Wow, this is easy. Like this.
But do you think it's possible?
Like, I mean, if you're to put it in that term,
is it possible for people to? Because I know. I mean, yeah, I think everybody.
And then like 6K would be
knows...
like the graduate student, right? Like 6K would be like you're taking a master's program, and yeah, dude, I will pay you to tutor me, but I know you're gonna fuck up here and there. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You're not a doctorate. You're not. You haven't studied how to teach either. You know what I mean? A 4K player is a 4K player, but they may not know at all how to talk about improving. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I guess I wonder, because I think everybody knows what you mean because you're right. We've talked about it on the show a bazillion times. I feel like I always say that these days, but yeah, like people ascribe way too much value, or it feels like they're overconfident, or their identity's tied too much into that number.
Well, like the Dota ego, and how I was like, how do you make Dota better? And it's like, take a pin to every Dota ego.
Yeah.
And you know.
So and I know that there's that element of it.
Confidence in, I mean,
but
confidence
is there any
ego,
way?
I don't know.
Is there any way to come across? I don't know.
It's just like
not being egotistical with it. Like,
yeah, there is.
I think anytime somebody approaches you and is like, "Hey, I'm 5K," or "Hey, I'm 4K." You know, I noticed what you're doing.
I'll say this. So when I was at 3850, Voiceless Fade, a member of the community, was like 3.1. Like I think just hit 3K, and he's like, I can't wait to hit 3.1. And I remember thinking for just a brief instant before I took that thought and put it out like a cigarette, that I was like, wow, I'm like way higher than that. Like that thought did enter my mind for a second. And then I immediately extinguished that thought and remembered, dude, you've been like 1,800. You've been 1,300. Like 3K is a big fucking deal. And then was like, dude, congratulations. And now Voiceless Fade is way the fuck higher MMR than me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And is way better of a player than I am. And it's like, just so everybody out there knows that at that moment you may be way higher, but that's not going to last forever. I mean, I remember thinking Chilled Wind was shit at Dota 2. That Chilled Wind was just garbage, the worst player in the world. And now he's like 4.2, 4.3K. And like, he earned it by being like, by playing a ton of Dota. Yeah. And when I've played with him, I can respect the fact that definitely he's better than me. Without a doubt. Same with Kairai. Like, for the longest time, I attributed Kairai to like a 2.5K player. And now I'm like, no, Kairai is better than all those egotistical bastards that were like, that's just a Kairai thing. Oh, there's Kairai doing Kairai things. And it's like, well, yeah, he may have his moments where he wants to do that, but that's because he's only in the solution center or in the tutoring lab. They make mistakes. He's not a doctorate. You think you're a doctorate, and you're not. And that's my issue, and my tirade and my rant.
So,
I mean, do you agree at all? Do you have any?
No, yeah. I feel like we're all a little all over the place, but I agree with your sentiments overall. I mean, I always kind of have, as far as,
Do I really care too? Like, I mean, unless I'm really trying to improve, I feel like Dota should be a game where you ask for advice. You're not giving it. You know what I mean? It would be such a better game if instead of just being given advice constantly, advice, machine gun. Instead, if I was like, hey, 4K guy, I'm really struggling, man. I can't figure it out. I've played 5 games of Ricky in a row. I saw Bobica do some really awesome shit.
But at the same time, I think people reach out because they want to talk about the game and they like the game. And I think more often in your case, I think what may be a little bit different.
Talking about the game would be like, just saw your Ricky game. Man, that was a tough one.
Yeah,
like what you do with me. And I'm like, yeah, it was.
But at the same time, I might be like, you know what you should have done.
And you can only get away with that because I
respect you. I can't get away with it because you
do. Yeah, you do. You get away.
Not all the time.
Oh, dude, after all those games, you're like, oh, that sucked. You're like, why did why didn't you do this or why did you do that? Or like sometimes they're sitting over my shoulder and I'll be like, shut the fuck up, Denny. But like it doesn't like that's where I get really ragey.
Yeah.
Are people that like I've had people message me when I'm in a game and they're watching from 2 minutes behind and saying, why'd you do that?
Yeah.
And you know what happens? Off the friends list, dude. Serious. Like, it really?
Yeah.
Fuck off.
But you're gonna get some of that.
I've never done that.
Right. And I don't think most people have done that, maybe to close friends. You're gonna get that more often than other people because you put yourself in the spotlight, though. Because we do this.
Okay, well, now that I'm in the spotlight and it's shining on me right now, maybe, don't do that if you're on my friends list and you want to stay there.
Yeah.
And I don't really care if, like, I've known you for years. Like, don't fucking come in and tell me how to play my game. Or I'll give you... Okay, that'll be this week's thing. I will allow you to come in and tell me what to do while you're playing my game, and I will respond with at least a sentence. Okay? That's the new...
Did you do the invite? The
yeah,
accepted invite
I did.
thing?
I did not decline a single one.
Okay. Who did you play with?
Like 2 different people.
Oh, that was it?
We got a stack going with King of Norms. And hold on. I have it here. King of Norms, we had Noisy Chode, King of Norms, Jekyll. It was fun playing with Jekyll again. Jekyll kicked ass. And Gushi?
Oh, yeah.
No, Gushi didn't play. Gushi couldn't. Anyway, Gushi was interested. I think he sat there and talked with us. Yeah, good people. Just like Dota people. And then I played, I can't remember. I wasn't.
What did you play? Like, what hero?
I played core, and Jekyll played mid. I can't remember what hero. It's going to be on there, and I think we lost. And I think it was mostly my fault. I think I might have played Juggernaut. I think.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
Juggernaut.
You played Jug with King of the Norms, Noisy Chode, Jekyll, and Wivrix.
It was right after Wivrix casting, too, for Caster's Crucible.
Oh, okay.
And when they kicked serious ass.
Yeah.
They had like 100 people in there in the Moonduck, and they got 6K. And all I kept thinking was, they had 400 people in here. Everyone was doing plus MMR. These guys would have made it to like 10K.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's unfortunate. Like the scales, maybe they were weighted to viewers,
I think
but they should have been weighted to viewers if they weren't.
Yeah. Well, all right. Are we ready to do this?
What time do you think we're at?
I'm gonna hope 50 or 50 above.
So the show's been going slow for you.
It's just so hot in here without the AC.
It's an hour and 2.
An hour and 2?
Yeah.
Whew, okay, we went long.
Yep.
Well, I'm glad that
close this out. Talk about the extra life thing that I'm doing. And,
you should talk about that because I don't know all the specifics.
Hit up TJ Sutton at TJ. I think what's his. I need to figure out. Yeah, at TJ Sutton -07. Space 07.
He's in the Discord, discord.gg/.p.
Yeah, he's doing
at
this.
TJ Sutton 11 on
every 100 MMR his group. Every 100 MMR an individual raises within his group of 10 people. I'm going to donate $5 to a local hospital here in Utah for Extra Life for video games and stuff like that. So they're on an MMR-a-thon climbing. I wish I could put more attention toward it. TJ is like the one setting it up and doing everything. So all information I will forward to TJ.
Yeah, hit them up if you want to support Extra Life.
Yeah, and of course donations are definitely welcome. But my donation is climb MMR for sick kids.
Yeah, no better cause.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can check that out. Of course, you can join our Discord, discord.gg/.p to find out more information. You can follow us find us at defenseofthepatients.com. Follow us on Twitter at @p_show. You can support us at patreon.com/defenseofthepatients. Actually, there's one more thing I really want to talk about, which is twitch.tv/.ptv. So there are a ton of you here listening, I'm sure, who haven't supported the show in some way, would like to, but you don't want to drop any extra money. We totally get that. We understand.
The show will die if you don't donate, though.
There is one way. I'm not going to go that far. There is one way you can support the show without spending any extra cash, and that is by going to twitch.tv/.ptv. And if you have Patreon Prime, if you have Amazon Prime
or Patreon Prime, they're
Patreon
both really
Prime
good.
Is a different thing. Amazon Prime allows you to subscribe to one streamer of your choice for free every month. You can subscribe right now to .p. That kicks a little bit of money our way. Doesn't cost you anything extra if you're just doing it through your Amazon Prime. And again, that's twitch.tv/.ptv. You just got to sign in with your Amazon Prime and then subscribe to us.
Cool. Let's close it.
And
Let's shut her down.
Do we do Patreon? Patreon.com/.
Yeah.
We love you. Roland's going to be doing more gushing. We were supposed to gush on this episode. You want to do one gush before we go? You want one gush? One gush? Come on.
Oh no, I'm just getting into.
You know. There's so many good people out there that need gushing.
There are. Didn't want it to go quite like this. I mean, the first gush is probably going to be to Proud. Proud, no. if you're listening, I want you to know that, goddamn, dude, like you are maybe the most annoying person I've ever met in my life. And this isn't a gush at all. This is more, I'm going to gush as much as I want. And I'm just doing it in a soft, calm voice. But yeah.
Why?
Instead of concave.
Proud has a suggestion.
Hey.
A suggestion.
Danny, what would you say
about
is the opposite of concave?
Convex?
Convex mirror.
That's right.
Archimedes, back in the day, put a bunch of convex mirrors, and he made a death ray from the sun. He would burn ships off the coast using convex mirrors.
Wow.
And he would line them up. And, of course, Jason knows this. His name's Convex Mirror. He knows of Archimedes' death ray that he would use by placing shiny metals and directing the sun to burn ships out in the Mediterranean.
Pure genius to know that reference.
Convex Mirror is somebody that...
I didn't know.
Like I said, you really just can't say enough about. I mean, his intelligence obviously behooves both of us. That's just one thing I know about him. Yeah. One guess that I can take. And, of course, Nolan.
But Convex also a patron for 4 months. 4 months.
Well,
what an amazing guy.
He's been around for centuries. I mean, 4 months is a blip of time.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I'm assuming he's Archimedes himself.
Must be.
And I have a cat named Archimedes as well. So, yeah, it really goes deep.
It's like, Jesus.
Nolan.
4 months from Nolan, too.
You only have 2 vowels in your name, and
that's the perfect amount.
I only have 2 vowels in my name.
Nolan and Roland, and you guys almost rhyme. You're like a near rhyme combo.
So I've never found somebody with a screen name so similar to mine. I feel like yours has much more complexity than mine does, and goddamn.
If you swapped the vowels, it'd almost be a... Never mind.
You can use every single letter that's in his name in my name.
With 2 N's.
With 2 N's. Roland.
This is a great gush. This is the best.
I like you a lot.
All right, that's all we're going to do. That's all we're going to do. All right, thank you, everybody, for tuning in to this episode of Defense of the Patients. As always, I'm Cyphus. That's Roland. And also for Nolan and Convex Mirror.